What's going on, YouTube? Sam Hatch, Culturedog, back with another update video of my Laserdisc. I was not anticipating on inheriting a batch of nearly 100 more Laserdiscs, but hey, life throws you some interesting curves sometimes, and as long as those curves lead to more discs on my shelves, I'm a happy dude. And again, a lot of comments here, so again, I should have made that upfront disclaimer. Not one single criterion in the set. So I know most normal collectors would then probably do some sort of derisive snort, and they would pick up the entire crate, bring it out back and urinate on it, maybe light it on fire. A lot of times, like once you get this deep into collecting, someone says, I have some Laserdiscs that I want to give you. You hear in your head, I have 8 copies of Song of the South. Then you get there and you're like, what the heck? Where are my 8 copies of Song of the South? Where's all the late release Japanese imports you promised me? And they're like, no, I just got Jurassic Park. And you're like, ah! So I'm actually the idiot that's excited that there's a lot of comments in there, because that's what I want. I want all these comments. I want all these films that I missed in the theaters. I want to get all this stuff that I wish I could have bought back in the 90s, but either just never got around to or didn't have enough money or whatever like that. So it's this fantasy wish fulfillment / nostalgia trip. And as I mentioned before, it's great having a collection that came from the original owner, because you can just kind of time travel. And in a way, coming at it as someone who was there on the days when Suncoast was loaded with Laserdiscs, etc., I can easily just kind of flash back into an out-of-body experience and imagine this collector just picking up their new copy and tearing open the cellophane. So even though I didn't rip open the shrink wrap in the first incident, I still feel that kind of that ripple through time when I hold these discs, and they're in great condition. So I was very, very excited to be able to pick this up. So yeah, let's just tear through and I'll show you what else I got. And of course, I'll be doing some spotlight videos of some of these. Some of these I already watched already, and I'll be doing some spotlight reviews. But here is a 1990 Sidney Pollack flick called Havana. I have never watched this. Robert Redford and Lena Olin in it. Not a widescreen edition. I'm not sure if it was Academy flat 183 to 1, 1.85 to 1, or if it's 2.35 to 1. I'll find out. But I also got another copy of this film, which is okay, because my other copy is the one in the box set, and it doesn't actually have a UPC on it. So I'm going to keep this one outside and leave the box set one together with that. And not that I'm inclined to watch this on a regular basis because of the heaviness of it, but Spielberg's Schindler's List. So yeah, I figured I'd hold on to that. This I had never heard of. I think it's a late 80s flick with Danny Aiello and Anthony LaPaglia called 29th Street. So I'm going to have to check that out. From director George Gallo. Yeah. This actually needed to complete my John Cusack collection. I'll have to show you that sometime. Most of it's on DVD and a little bit on Blu-ray. But the Woody Allen flick, Bullets Over Broadway, again, never seen it. Not sure how, but nominated for 7 Academy Awards. And Miramax release. This is another pan and scan release, though it is Adrian Lyne. I think, I can't remember what aspect ratio this was shot in, but I know Jacob's Ladder, right around the same time, I think was just flat ratio. But Fatal Attraction. Again, I'm not really into the pan and scan releases, but yeah, these discs are in really, really nice shape, so I'm just inclined to maybe hold on to them. This has that same cheesy, like, Atari 2600 cartridge from hell look that all the old Vestron video releases did. But John Travolta and Nancy Allen in Blowout, Brian De Palma's remake of Blow Up, instead of a photographer. This time it's a sound technician who hears a murder. So typical Brian De Palma type action. This, believe it or not, I never had on Laserdisc, either in the Criterion Edition version or this Hollywood Pictures Disney version. The Rock. I was just talking about this the other day. It's Michael Bay-tastic. This is a disc now I own, well, how many copies of? At least 4 versions, but I don't have any doubles, not that I can think of. But Terminator 2, Judgment Day. This is the standard widescreen edition gatefold that came out for the theatrical version, which I also have the CAV box set companion to this. And then I also have the box set of the special edition, and I have the gatefold CLV version of the special edition. So I think this is my 4th copy of Terminator 2. This is my 2nd copy of this film, but this is the theatrical cut, and the other one I have is the extended version. The old Image Entertainment double disc widescreen edition of Kevin Costner's Dances with Wolves. So, yeah, I'll hold on to this too. It'll be cool to have both versions. This, again, is a common that I've been on the hunt for because it's not in my collection, and I saw this on cable or rented it on VHS ages ago, and I've been meaning to watch it again. Backdraft. I know, you got a copy. Your buddy has a copy. I know, everybody has a copy. But now I got a copy. So, this is the kind of dumb stuff that I'm excited about that nobody else in the world is excited about. This I had and then got rid of when I got the special collection box, but now I've got it again. The letterboxed edition of Jaws, and there is the notation on the back here that there is home video version, some music rescored. So it doesn't have the full original soundtrack. Again, not being a Kevin Costner guy, I never had this in my collection, but I will check it out because it's got decent cast. Field of Dreams. Yeah, I've never watched it. One, I don't like baseball. I know, I'm that guy. I like Backdraft on Laserdisc, and I don't like baseball. But I love films like The Natural, so that's all in the film, really. So I haven't watched that. I'll check that out. This was in my quest to replace a lot of stuff I had on VHS, which was a horrible quest because a lot of the stuff I had on VHS is really hard to find on Laserdisc, or it's like junky pan and scan releases of films that are going for like $80. So I feel like an idiot for embarking on that quest. But I did grab this, and it isn't widescreen. Again, I don't remember it being a very wide film to begin with. And I know there is a widescreen edition of this, but I'll take this for now. And it is a direct kind of counterpart to my VHS copy of The Crying Game. And I'll have to fire this up sometime. My fiance's never seen it, so she'll appreciate it, hopefully. We'll see. This, I don't know why, I've never had a single Star Trek film on Laserdisc. I've seen every single film in the theaters. I've watched just about all the shows. But I just never got around to buying it. You know what it is? It's a whole franchise, so I never wanted to start, I just wanted to somehow get them all and call it a day. But then I never had the money to go buy a big box set or something. So, widescreen edition of Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. I'll take it. Likewise, I had borrowed this from a friend, but I never had a copy. Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country. Really cool flick. And made up for the kind of lack of juju in 5. This was on my hit list. I was hoping to get the remastered AC3 version, but I'll take it for now because I have the AC3 of the first and third films. But Patriot Games, Harrison Ford taking over as Jack Ryan. But cool flick, and I am happy to have it. Likewise, this was also on my hit list. I actually rented this Laserdisc back in the day. I was, again, hoping to get the Pioneer Special Edition, but I'll take this for now, too. Glengarry Glen Ross, cool flick. I'm not usually a fan of modern plays because usually modern plays are someone talking about the stuff that you're not going to experience or hear about or see, or you're going to hear about it, but you're not going to see for like 90 minutes. It's basically talking in circles for 90 minutes, whereas, classic plays would have changes of location and interesting things, but that said, this is a really cool adaptation and great crack and dialogue in there. This is a release I had got rid of. Mine had some rot, and now I got it back. This actually looks okay, despite the fact that it is a Technodisc pressing. And in fact, I've heard that Technodisc was so kind of looked down upon by the time this release came out in, 1992, that they kind of hid their presence from the disc. I don't even think it has the Technodisc or TD markings on the mint marks. But Alien 3, it does have a lot of crosstalk, etc., but this is a clean copy compared to my original. This was the first Laserdisc I ever bought. Was Alien 3. So, I got it back. Can't complain. This I've been looking to get for a while, too, and just because the jacket is so drop-dead gorgeous. People talk a lot about the chroma noise in this being off the chain, but I'm going to have to check it out for myself. But the CAV letterbox edition of Aladdin, it really is gorgeous. And I've been meaning to watch this again for a while anyways. This I just watched yesterday, and does tie into Aladdin in a way. I never intended to pick this up. I had actually gotten the Japanese import because I knew this was a Columbia TriStar release, pressed by DADC USA, and it's notorious for rot. It doesn't have the skull and crossbones on the LDDB listing, but it does have the high probability of rot. But I watched the entire film yesterday. All three sides are clean, and Steven Spielberg's Hook gatefold edition looks pretty nice, actually. So I'm going to do a review of that. I pulled out all of my known routers and Sony, Columbia, TriStar releases, all that stuff to take a peek and see what's good and what's bad. This one is known as a potential router. Rob Reiner's A Few Good Men. Look through all three sides of this is clean as well, so that was cool. This one, again, clean. Not one I was aiming to grab, but it's in my collection. Now I can say I've got a Nora Ephron flick, Sleepless in Seattle. Looked fine. This one does have some rot. It was still watchable, but it was getting moderate for the amount of picture distortions going on. But Aaron Sorkin's, written, Rob Reiner's directed The American President. So that was cool. This is another one I missed in theaters, but I was a big Ridley Scott fan, so I rented this Laserdisc back in the day too, and was looking to get a copy of it. Thelma and Louise, nice gatefold, and I still need the signature collection of this, even though I have it on DVD, etc. My favorite film of all time, though I hate this powder blue jacket, Hitchcock's Vertigo. And I'm not really a fan of the backside looks a little bit better, but not really a major fan of the packaging of these early MCA Hitchcock releases. But I'll take it. It's a pan and scan, but it was a 1984 rendition. Oh, back to Star Trek. Star Trek First Contact. Dolby Digital THX release. One of the that's probably the best flick with the new cast. This I was actually surprised it's widescreen because it didn't have that whole widescreen banner on it. But Michael Keaton Jones, who did Rob Roy, directed Doc Hollywood with Michael J. Fox in good condition. This thing, man, the jacket is the balls. It's just too cool looking, and I believe this is open matte from what I've heard. But the Peter Yates, Steve McQueen starring flick, Bullet. That thing is so balls. I just want to frame that sucker. But first I need to watch it. This is technically a double, but I had the CLV version, and this is the CAV set. THX, AC3, Dolby Digital widescreen, and it's one of my favorites. I'd say it's a guilty pleasure, but I'm not guilty at all. I think the rest of the world is on crack, and they don't realize how cool Twister is, so... lay off the crack, put the crack pipe down, and understand the awesome sauce of Twister. Something like that. This I had gotten from Columbia House, and I used to pull this stupid move where I'd get a disc in, I'd be so infatuated with Laserdiscs that even though I didn't really care about the movie, I had to watch the Laserdisc, so I'd tear open the shrink wrap and I'd watch it, and then I'd send it back to Columbia House and go, no, I don't want it. And after a while, they're like, you can't open the shrink wrap, watch the film, and then send it back to us. I'm like, what do you mean watch the film? I'm just accidentally tearing the shrink wrap. So this was one of those films I ended up sending back. But the Pelican Brief, during that period when every movie coming out was an adaptation of a John Grisham crime or law novel. This is a Danny DeVito flick from Norman Jewison, which I'd never really seen, but Piper Laurie in there, Penelope Ann Miller, Other People's Money, and I think it's also widescreen. Yeah, which is interesting. Another one of those ones that's kind of like a quiet widescreen release. This is funny. I always thought this was like a murder mystery because of the look of it and something about the font, the layout, and then now that I look at it, you see a guy's sitting in a movie theater, a guy being Robert De Niro. Guilty by Suspicion. It's actually about the blacklist era in Hollywood. So it's not really a murder mystery at all. But yeah, just the name of it, I always thought it was some sort of, post-murder legal flick or something like that. This is a pan and scan early release, but yeah, it is a nice shape. But Harrison Ford and Witness, not really my era for Laserdisc collecting, but it is pretty nice. This, again, is in great condition, so it breaks my heart that it's not widescreen. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, but I'm super excited to own a copy of this on Laserdisc, because awesome flick. So I'm going to hold on to that. Likewise, man, I saw this on cable back in the day when I was too young to see this on cable, and it is not widescreen, but I don't care. I'm holding on to it. Caddyshack, classic flick. Hey, speaking of more movies like Guilty by Suspicion, this one has a similar title, which makes me immediately think of Murder and Courtrooms. Presumed Innocent with Harrison Ford. I've never seen this, actually, but it's a Warner widescreen release. And who directed this? Sidney Pollack produced, but Alan Pakula directs. And this one, I've never seen. It's a Jean Le Carré adaptation. The Russia House. Older MGM letterbox edition. The Sean Connery, Michelle Pfeiffer flick. And Michelle Pfeiffer's, yeah. Michelle Pfeiffer's. No, sorry. Little Key and Peele flashback there. And this, everybody's got to have. And thankfully, this is a DADC Austria copy, which means no rot. Shawshank Redemption. Nice double disc here. So super psyched to have that. And finally, well, actually, no, I also have this. Everybody seems to have a copy of this. The Take 5 2 AV laser sampler disc that Sony put out. Just kind of giving you a couple samples of things that you should go out and pick up as a Laserdisc enthusiast. But I do have 2 more box sets, so let me show you those quick, because I was excited to get those. So yes, I did get 2 box sets. This is one that was on my hit list. I never actually picked up a copy of it. It's a nice hefty release from Disney, The Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. It is pretty common. I see a lot of people having this in their collections, but it's got a great, kind of slip cover. This was the sheet that was on the back, and it's got a couple discs inside. Oh, it's got a little sticky on it, probably from the gum on the back of that, but it's got the CAV Laserdisc set of the film itself, and then it's got a single disc making of Laserdisc. There's a lot of info on the back there, and instead of the vacuum plastic stuff, it's got the kind of faux velvet covered blue inlay with the making of book, which is looks like it's pretty nice condition, but a lot of good drawings and stuff in there. So I was definitely happy to pick that up. The only thing I knew about this collection when I called was one thing. I didn't even know what make Laserdisc player was. I didn't really care. I was just going to go check this out. And I figured if the discs were good, it was going to be worth my time. The only thing that the people told me about was that The Godfather was one of the films. And I thought, all right, there's one Godfather set that I'm looking for. Because there was a couple different versions. There was a trilogy version that I don't even know if it was widescreen, but you see that one a lot. Then there was the AC3 THX versions that came out, which I do have the box set of that. And then there were a lot of individual releases, and then there was the one box set that I really, really wanted, and I've been looking for a regular basis, but I always see, beat up copies going for like $80, $90. So I didn't hold out much hope. Again, I don't want to be that guy that's like, oh, you say you've got a handful of Laserdiscs, I assume they're all Song of the South, or I assume they're all The Matrix. So I went there with low hopes, but I got rewarded with the Godfather trilogy, 1901 to 1980, with the, I don't know if you can see it, I'll definitely do a spotlight of this, but it's got the kind of filigree edging there. And unlike the other box set, it's got the writing on the side. But this is the kind of created version of the film. where they took, it's a limited edition to this, number 4383, first edition, December 1992. This is where they took the whole series and then chronologically recreated it into one big movie, apparently for television. So it's not widescreen, but it's the only place you can get this. I don't believe it's on DVD or Blu-ray. The booklet does have some thumb marks, which is, it's kind of cool, though. I mean, goes to show that somebody actually enjoyed and checked this out quite a few times. So I'm perfectly fine with that. It has a documentary called The Godfather Family, A Look Inside, which I'm looking forward to watching. And then it's got a ton of discs, and mostly like the Star Wars Definitive Collection, they got a pretty simple case, though they don't have custom sleeves on the inside. It's just the polyline paper sleeves, but it's got disc 1 through 5, I believe, with the chapter breaks on the back. So this was something I was very, very excited to pick up. Disc 1 through 6. So super excited to have a copy of this. Totally made the trip worthwhile, even if the rest was all, boring or commons. But in my case, I was excited about the commons, and even the doubles I had largely were upgrades from my previous doubles. So it was a great time, and there was the bonus of, this all coming from a private collector who originally bought all this stuff in the 90s. So I kind of feel like I am a shepherd, or I'm that guy in Raiders of the Lost Ark, or no, Indiana Jones: The Last Crusade. I'm that last Templar hiding out in the cave guarding the Grail. In this case, the Grail being a bunch of really cool Laserdiscs from the 90s. So it's my pleasure to watch these suckers and give them a home and spin them up. So thanks for hanging out and checking these all out. So let's check out the player I got next. We'll do that, and then I'll get back into all the other usual shenanigans I do here on the channel. So stick with me, and we'll have some more Laserdisc content coming your way in a hot minute. Cheers, everybody.